Another element of Windows Explorer or exploring Windows, again these can be found in any folder that you open, and I'm still in my exercises folder, is up at the top here, this whole section right here. I call it the header bar or the title bar because sometimes it'll give you the title of the window that you have open. Well, not the folders. The title of the folder you have open here is in the address bar, okay? But I get ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and start from left to right. So you have your back and forward arrows, meaning that if I go to another place, like let's say the desktop, now I can go back to my exercises, or I can go back forward to my desktop. And if I come over here and double click on the libraries, now I have 3 or 4 or more different places that I've been. You can click on the little arrow to the right of it, and it lists the, I think it's the top 10 recent pages here. At least I get my top 10 after I've been around for a while. You can go ahead and jump right to the desktop. Or let me go back to the exercises folder. Then over to the right of that you have the address bar. It's the address of where you're at. This makes sense to me. I'm in the exercises folder. And you can see that these little arrows after and before the arrow, for example, if I click on the drop down arrow, it says I can go one level down, which is the fonts folder, and there's the fonts folder. I can either double click on it, click back, or click on the exercises up in the address bar and go down to the fonts folder. I can even come ahead of the exercises folder and say go to the desktop, and you can see that that's where I'm currently at. It's in bold down below. Go to the desktop. I'm going to go ahead and click the back arrow to go to my fonts folder where I recently been and click on exercises. So you can toggle or navigate around those little arrows here. Okay. Another thing is that the address bar, which makes sense to us here, if you come over here and you click on the folder, it gives us, or it translates it into the computer's address, or how the computer sees where you're at. It says, okay, based upon your main hard drive, the C drive, you're a user and you're logged in as training, that's your username, and you're on the desktop, and on the desktop you have this folder that you're in, it's the exercises folder. So that's the computer language. Your language is, well, it's the other way. How do I bring it back up? Just make sure your cursor is flashing anywhere within the address bar and hit the enter key on the keyboard. It brings it back. Now why would I care when I click on the folder to be able to see these backslashes or the computer's address? Well, some of us IT geeky people use it to help others when they're trying to find certain items on their computer or programs. We'll say, well, it's on the C drive, under the users, the training. In fact, let me go ahead and click on the restore down button and click and drag the header bar over here. If I come over here and double click on the computer, you can see it collapses. Remember it was, let me click on it, the folder here. Remember it was the C, users training. Well, there's the C, here's the users, there's the training, there's the desktop. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. So what you can do, or what's helpful when people are trying to share information back and forth, instead of saying, okay, well, it's in a folder on your desktop, what IT people will do is, let me come over here, click on the folder, and right-click on that address and copy it, and then in an email or, in some training manual, they could go ahead and paste that. Let me come down here, click on the Start button, and let's open up WordPad, click on that, and right-click and paste that and say, okay, if you want to be able to get to this program, usually it's on your desktop, and here's the address. Your C drive, users, training, desktop. In fact, you can even select it if you want and right-click on it and copy it. And let me go ahead and close out of here without saving it. And if I close out of this folder and I double-click and open up any folder, and I click on its folder here, or that little icon ahead of the address, and I right-click and I paste it, see the address is down below. When I hit enter, boom, it takes me right to the exercises folder. Let me go ahead and maximize this. And there it is, the C drive, users, training, desktop, and exercises. So you can use that to copy and paste and email to other people and where they can find certain programs to navigate around, or you can just say, look, it's on your desktop, it's right there, it's called exercises, or wherever the program is. Much easier if it's on your desktop, isn't it, to explain it that way. And of course the address is all spelled out. When I close out and double click and open up the exercises folder, it goes back to its simplistic address here, or the address that I like. And like I said, if you accidentally click on it, you don't like it, just make sure your cursor is anywhere within that address bar, hit enter, and it restores it back to normal here. And it looks like in my mad clicking, I accidentally created an exercise shortcut, so I'm going to right click on that and delete it here. In any case, be sure you know where you're clicking. After the address bar, over to the far right, you have a little arrow. When you click on the drop down arrow, it gives you the places that you've been to either on the web or on your computer. Like the fonts, takes me right to the fonts, pretty cool. I go ahead and hit the back arrow. Then you have the refresh. If you actually share this folder with other people and they're updating it, you may want to click on refresh to update any changes they made, but we'll go over that a little bit more in Windows 7 Level 2. Particularly with the home group, if they're updating things, basically they should refresh, but if it doesn't do it automatically, you can do it manually here. And then over to the far right you have the search field. Now it's kind of small, so if you want to come over and hover in between the two fields, your pointer turns into arrows pointing in opposite directions. Go ahead and click and drag to stretch your search box for the exercises folder, so hence search exercises. And I mean, it's really easy here. If I want to find something like smile, the picture, click on it, there it is. But if I have hundreds or thousands of files here and I'm like, look, just take me right to it, I don't need to search through all this, just come up here and type in the word. And you'll notice when I click in there, it remembers my recent searches, which is really nice. So click in the field, in any case I'll type in smile, and any file that has smile as the name or a document that has the word smile in it, it highlights it and it brings it up. It hides all the other files temporarily until I come up here and click on the X and close out of it, and then it restores everything within the folder here. It remembers other searches. Click in the box and come down here and let's see what production brings up. Nothing. Close out. Gummy bears. Click on it. There we go. Gummy bears is part of the text within the product meeting document, and there's part of it down there, gummy. So I can go ahead and double click, open it up, read it, close out, and then when I'm done, click on the X to clear my search, click off in a blank area, and I'm back to square one. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel, get notified of the latest videos, and for only $2 a month, you can have access to all my Microsoft Office training videos.